Hi everyone, I'm JD. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm taking you on this journey of making my holiday junk journal. In the previous video I shared all of the ephemera and things that I collected from the holiday when I went to Port Douglas with my family, or some of my family. I'll link that video below if you missed it or would like to see it. And now I have made the cover. So I did this last night and I thought I would share this with you before I do anything further and just go through the process of what I've done and more so about the why behind it. So I, for the first time, have done a envelope cover, and I'm pretty excited about this because I really wanted to try this method. And the reason though why I ended up choosing this envelope was because the ephemera that I collected is the A4 size stuff. Well, lots of the ephemera was the brochures and free flyers and things that you get from places where you go to. And I didn't want to have to cut them down. So my solution for that was to make a big journal. And I was like, okay, what can I use for the cover? It has to be something big. And this large envelope was what I chose in the end. For the cover on the front, I ended up using, this is a scanned image of the front of my t-shirt that my mum bought me for my birthday at the butterfly sanctuary. And I ended up scanning it twice, printing it twice so that I could just have one for the front and for the back as well, just plain and simple. And I kind of like this as a front cover because the butterfly place was the place I was most looking forward to going to when I knew that I was going to Port Douglas. And my mum had already said that's one of the places she would take us. And because of the blue butterfly, you know, just it's kind of become my symbol now. But I just love it anyway, so that's why I put it on the front. And that is the cover. And then on the inside of the cover, what I ended up doing was making a collage on the front page. So the reason I did this was, it was actually kind of fun. I didn't know what I was going to do. Actually, I did the back page first, so let me talk about that. I had some leftover pages that I had, so I wanted to still use them in the journal somehow, and it was great that I had some leftover because then I could use it to decorate the inside of the covers, and it also reinforces it so it's a bit thicker and sturdier. And this is the Kuranda story, so it's got the details here and you can read that. And Kuranda was one of the places that I liked the most, where we visited the most places and did the most things, so that's kind of fitting to be there. And then I had to cut off the bottom of it, so I just kept the part where it kept on the wording here, so that I could still have all of that. So that's all there in case I want to read it or anyone else wants to read it. And that's envelope flap, so I just put it over there, and it went a bit over the edge, but that's fine. I like that. And then what I'm going to do is, in this back pocket, is stuff all the other bits of ephemera that I don't want to cut up, and I can just keep in there and pull out and just relive memories. The other thing is that the idea behind this journal is not just to be a memory keeping journal for me, but also hopefully fun for other people to look at and informative, that they can see what the places were like. And so it's kind of like a touristy journal, and that's the vibe I was going for in this, because I was a tourist and I was sightseeing and that kind of thing, and going here, there, everywhere, picking up pieces from all these different places. So that's what I'm highlighting in this journal. And then over here, I didn't have a fitting page that could go there. There wasn't anything that grabbed me. The pictures and this text wasn't something that I was like, oh, that can go on a front cover. So what I ended up doing was making a collage of the things that did mean something to me, and it ended up being like a vision board of the trip. So it's got all the things that we did. So first of all, a map of Cairns, Port Douglas and Mossman. This is where we kind of centered our sightseeing travels. So I arrived in Cairns and then drove to Port Douglas, where we stayed, went to Mossman Gorge to do some sightseeing. And so I've put all the places that we went to. We went to the wildlife habitat place, and one of my favourite things we saw there was a koala, so that represents the wildlife habitat. We went to Mossman Gorge the next day, so I put a photo of Mossman Gorge here. And all of this came from the brochures and flyers, all the free things. Then we went to Kuranda, so I put that one there, and we also went to Bird World here and to Port Douglas. Well, that's where we stayed. And now that I'm looking at this, I forgot one thing, and the one thing is the butterfly sanctuary. So I will find a blue butterfly and just a little one. I know there's heaps and I kind of know which one, and I'll probably stick it maybe here or here, 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 and that will just go there, and that will represent the butterfly sanctuary. So I kind of like how that turned out, because it's, yeah, that vision board, and it's already a page, like it's not just a cover, it's already a page in my journal done with a collage. Okay, so that is the cover, and then I've already kind of put together the pages, and all I have to do is sew them in. So I thought I'd share with you this part of the process as well, and then in the next video I'll share the flip through of it. The rationale behind this was, I actually found it a little hard because when I journal, I'm very organized and structured, and really what I kind of would do normally is have a blank journal, and then each page it would just go in chronological order of the holiday, and then I'd be able to put the text and the pictures and whatever I wanted all in one page or section, however many pages it would take me to write about that one thing. And then, so for example, going to Mossman Gorge one day, I would keep that all in one section, and then the next I'll just go to the next day, that kind of thing. But with this, I really wanted to include the brochures and flyers and ephemera that I collected as the pages. But what that does is it messes up the order then. So you can't really plan it so that this page will be this and this page will be this, because it's just whatever page will come up when you turn the pages, if that makes sense. And at first I was like, oh, I don't like that idea, because then it's all just going to be jumbled, and what if I want to write 10 pages on this topic rather than just the one that it's given me? But my solution to that was I'm going to try to do a chronological thing, but intersperse it with you know, fun photos and fun memories. So it's going to be a bit of both, and I'm not sure if that is how it will turn out. I'm just going to play it by ear and have fun with this and see how it goes. It's a different style for me of journaling. Like, I haven't done a personal junk journal in this way for me yet. Like, I've only done a yearly one, and that's pretty much it. so this one is quite new, this style, just to do a holiday one. But I am loving having a play. What I've done to guide the order of pages is I have done it chronologically, so or mostly chronologically. This one I just did for the nice front image because it's blue, and I try to break it up between plain pages with busy pages also. So the train ticket is the first thing, you know, I had to catch the train to Cairns, so that's the very first thing that's in it. Then I included this page because it has a map of Cairns, and that's the rail station that we went to, that my mum picked me up from. So that's the next one. This one was a litter bag that was on the train, so all connected to the train journey. And I mean, I'm only going to be journaling one page about the train ride, so all of this I'll have to keep writing about later on in the journey. This is the second page of my train ticket. And then over here is a map of Cairns, Kuranda and Port Douglas. So it's also got Mossman on here somewhere. Or does it? I don't know. Yes, it does, up here. So I thought that was fitting as well because it kind of sets the tone. This is all the places we went to. Then the very first place we went to was the wildlife habitat. So that was the map we were given. Then during the trip, I used my mum's watercolours, and that's scattered throughout the journal just to break up some pages. Each night my nephew and I had some craft time, and I scattered those throughout as well for each night. So that's one of them, where he drew me some kelp. And then the next day we went to Mossman Gorge, so put that map in there. And then that night we had our craft session. Then the next day we went to Kuranda. So there's lots of Kuranda things in here because there was a whole big brochure that I got from there, interspersed with some of my drawing that I did with the watercolors or shading. Then we went to the Butterfly Sanctuary at Kuranda, so I included this flyer. This is actually scanned and printed because I want to keep the original intact so you can actually fold it out like it's meant to be, and I'll put that in the back pocket. And then another information sheet from the Butterfly Sanctuary, and then this is the bag that came from when we went to the shop and bought some things. More Kuranda stuff because we walked around and had lunch in Kuranda after going to the Butterfly Sanctuary. This is another bag from the shop at the Butterfly Sanctuary. Then after lunch we went to Bird World. Same thing, this is one of those tri-fold brochure thingies that I scanned and printed, and then I'll keep the original in the back pocket. This represents the last craft night with my nephew because we did some stuff with contact, and that's just the backing of the contact. And then there's just more Kuranda stuff because I had pages left over. And now going into the train ticket back to Bowen, and this is what I had for lunch. It came in this bag, and that says what I had for lunch on that trip back, so that was fitting to go there. This is another Kuranda brochure, so as I said, it's kind of a bit random. I tried to do chronological, but it's just going to be what it is. Second page of that train ticket. This was the sick bag, or also I think lunches came in these bags too on the train. And then for the middle page, I put this one because it was my favourite thing, the Butterfly Sanctuary, just because of the blue butterflies and everything. So that's the what do you call it? The centre of the signature. And I won't show you that because I'm going to do a flip through the next video anyway. Just a quick one since I've already gone through all the details. And yeah, so that's the kind of rationale behind why I ordered it this way and did it this way. And when it comes to journaling, I'm going to do more of this kind of collaging, cutting out things from the brochures and things that didn't make it as pages. And I'll of course be adding my own photos and yeah, the writing of course about what we did and all that kind of stuff. So there's my beginning of the holiday journal. So excited, I'm loving this, it's so fun. Okay, cool, thanks guys for watching, I'll see you later, bye.